Namaskar. Welcome to this session of video. In this video session of fundamentals of basics of English language, जिसमें हम सब डिस्कस करेंगे कम्युनिकेशन के बारे में. कम्युनिकेशन इज एन आर्ट जो कि इंसान, एवरी ह्यूमन बीइंग में एक प्रॉपर मीन्स ऑफ कम्युनिकेशंस होता है. देयर इज़ अ लैंग्वेज एज सच, देयर इज़ अ लैंग्वेज इन सच. जैसे कि आप जो भी मदर टंग हो, तमिल हो, मलयालम हो, उर्दू हो, हिंदी हो, इंग्लिश हो, इट्स अ कंप्लीट लैंग्वेज जिसमें ग्रामर भी होते हैं. और मीन्स ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन जो इसका होता है बिल्कुल ही एक सेट पैटर्न पे होता है, बिल्कुल स्ट्रक्चर्ड है. तो सेंटेंस क्या है, इसके फंडामेंटल्स क्या हैं, आज हम लोग ये डिस्कस करेंगे फॉर द बिगिनर्स. लाइक कह सकते हैं कि सेंटेंस क्या है. इट्स अ ग्रुप ऑफ वर्ड्स दैट मेक कंप्लीट सेंस इज कॉल्ड अ सेंटेंस. द प्रॉपर डेफिनेशन ऑफ अ सेंटेंस, दैट्स अ ग्रुप ऑफ वर्ड्स दैट मेक अ कंप्लीट सेंस इज कॉल्ड अ सेंटेंस. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, played evening last we match a hockey. Can you call it a sentence, a complete sentence? No, it is not. We played a hockey match last evening. This is the correct one. This is the correct sentence. तो हम लोग आज के सेशन में शुरू करेंगे और सेंटेंस के बेसिक्स फंडामेंटल से. अब कई एक तरह के सेंटेंस होते हैं, उसके बारे में भी डिस्कस करेंगे. फ्रेज क्या होता है, और इस लेसन को ख़त्म करने के बाद ये आर्ट ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन क्या होता है उसको हम लोग जो है थ्रू ऑडियो जानेंगे. बिकॉज इंग्लिश इज़ द मोस्ट कंपैटिबल कह सकते हैं आप, एंड हाईली कम्युनिकेटिंग एंड कनेक्टिंग लैंग्वेज ऑफ द वर्ल्ड. जो कि आप किसी भी कंट्री में रहें, कम से कम इंग्लिश में कम्युनिकेट कर सकते हैं. अब इसमें भी दो एक्सेंट हैं, एक ब्रिटिश एक्सेंट है, एक अमेरिकन एक्सेंट है. तो बेसिक थोड़ी सी चेंजेस जो हैं दैट आप गौर से ऑडियो को सुनेंगे, देन यू विल रियलाइज कि व्हाट आर दोज डिफरेंस. बहुत ही बड़ा फ़र्क नहीं है ये, बहुत ही बड़ा फ़र्क नहीं है. छोटे छोटे सिलेबल्स हैं, छोटे छोटे फोनेटिक्स हैं. A group of words that makes complete sense is called sentence. For example, played evening last week a match hockey. Is this a complete sentence that makes sense? No, this is not, because the basic grammar is lacking here. This is not a properly framed sentence. Then what is the correct one? We played a hockey match last evening is the correct one. Basically, what we have to concentrate on is we must not forget four things. What are those four things? A sentence makes complete sense. It should begin with a capital letter. The words in a sentence must be in proper order. And a sentence ends with a full stop, a mark of interrogation, or a mark of exclamation. Then we are coming to the next thing, the phrase. What is a phrase called? Phrase is also a group of words that make sense, but not a complete sense is called a phrase. ये एक सेंटेंस तो होता है, बट इससे कंप्लीट सेंस नहीं निकल के आता, जिसे हम फ्रेज कहते हैं. अब इसका एग्जाम्पल में देखें. Played a hockey. It's not a phrase. A hockey match is a phrase. ठीक है? Some group of words make sense, but not complete sense. ऐसे भी कुछ सेंटेंस होते हैं जो कि सेंस तो पैदा करते हैं लेकिन कंप्लीट सेंस पैदा नहीं करते हैं. जैसे फनी स्टोरी, एग्जाम्पल ऑफ फनी स्टोरीज में जैसा होता है. देन वी कैन टर्न अ फ्रेज इनटू अ सेंटेंस बाय एडिंग सम वर्ड्स टू इट. कैसे? फॉर एग्जाम्पल, माई मदर टोल्ड मी अ फनी स्टोरी लास्ट इवनिंग. नाउ दैट दिस मेक्स सेंस. Then we are coming to parts of sentence. A sentence is made up of two parts. There are two components in a sentence, that is subject and a predicate. ये अच्छी तरीके से समझने की चीज है. Subject क्या है? Subject is that part of the sentence which names what the sentence is about, whereas predicate में क्या होता है? that part of the sentence which says something about the subject. अब इसे हम लोग एग्जाम्पल से समझेंगे. All the players contributed to the victory of team. अब इसमें वो दोनों कंपोनेंट कहाँ हैं? All the players in this sentence is a subject, whereas contributed to the victory of the team is a predicate. Then the subject of a sentence usually comes first, but occasionally, I repeat, but occasionally it may be placed after the predicate. अब इस तरह के स्ट्रक्चर को देखें हम लोग. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इन द हार्ट ऑफ द फॉरेस्ट लिव्ड अ सेंट. ठीक है? इस सेंटेंस में इन द हार्ट ऑफ द फॉरेस्ट लिव्ड इज अ प्रेडिकेट, whereas the subject has been placed after the predicate. That is, a saint is a subject which has been placed after the predicate. तो एक स्ट्रक्चर तो ये हुआ. Then we are coming to verb. A verb is an essential part of the predicate. In an imperative sentence, that is command, the subject is always you, but it implied and not stated. मकसद यही होता है लेकिन कहा नहीं जाता. ठीक? फॉर एग्जाम्पल, सिट डाउन. यहां इम्पेरेटिव सेंटेंस कमांड है, यू सिट डाउन. कहा जा रहा है यू सिट डाउन, बट एक्चुअल व्हाट हैज बीन स्पोकन इज सिट डाउन. दिस इज इम्पेरेटिव सेंटेंस. ओपन योर बुक एट पेज 28, मीनिंग देयर बाय you open your books. Okay. Now we are coming to the kinds of sentences. There are 4 kinds of sentences: assertive or declarative sentences, that is statements. An assertive or declarative sentence says or states something, किसी चीज के बारे में कहा जाता है, ठीक है। टू काइंड्स, एक तो होता है अफर्मेटिव और पॉजिटिव। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, द फॉक्स लुक्ड एट द पीस ऑफ द चीज, ठीक है। अफर्मेटिव में, जिसे पॉजिटिव भी कह लें, द फॉक्स लुक्ड एट द पीस ऑफ द चीज। नेगेटिव क्या हुआ? द फॉक्स डिड नॉट लाइक इट। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, द फॉक्स डिड नॉट लाइक इट, ओके। We put a full stop at the end of assertive sentences. So this one was an example of assertive sentences. The next is interrogative sentences, that is questions. Like an interrogative sentences ask a question. सवाल किए जाते हैं। ये दो तरह के होते हैं, two kinds, yes and no question. For example, do you like stories? Question है कि आपको स्टोरी पसंद आया? It's a yes or no question. It means that this kind of question can be answered in yes or no. Such a questions begin with an auxiliary verb. In this sentence, do is an auxiliary verb. Right? Auxiliary verbs are verbs used to form the tenses and voices of other verbs. That is be, do, have, and modals. Like modals, you can say can, may, will, shall, etc. are auxiliary verbs. They are also called helping verbs. दूसरे तौर पे हम कह सकते हैं these are all WH questions. WH question. For example, what kind of stories do you like? This type of sentence begins with a question word what. Since most of the question word like what, when, where, who, why begin with WH. So such questions are often referred to as WH questions. These questions cannot be answered in yes or no. Some statement has to be made to the answer. Okay? Then in an interrogative sentence, the auxiliary verb is placed before the subject. इसको थोड़ा मार्क कीजिए आप. For example, they have gone away. This is a statement. They have gone away. Have they gone away? It's a question. It's a question. Have they gone away? Have is auxiliary verb. They is subject. Okay. Then two things to remember about an interrogative sentence. वो क्या है? In an interrogative sentence, we put the auxiliary before the subject. And the next one is we put a mark of interrogation. ये symbol होता है. We put a mark of interrogation at the end of an interrogative sentence. Then WH questions always begin with interrogative pronouns, that is who, whom, what, whose, which. For example, who has taken my pen? Suchi has taken it. Who is this book? It is Suchi's book. Whom do you want to meet? I want to meet Hanju. So in all these sentences, who is used as a subject, whom is used as an object. Who invited you? इस सेंटेंस में who is subject and you is object. Whom are you inviting? इसके अंदर whom जो है object है and you is the subject. However, these days in informal conversation, जो formal conversation नहीं, जो बोलचाल में यूज होते हैं, it is unusual to use who instead of whom. थोड़ा सा unusual होता है बोलचाल में, बोलते हैं whom do you want to talk to? Who do you want to talk to? Both the sentences given above are now accepted as correct. Whom do you want to talk to and who do you want to talk to? Both the sentences above are now accepted as correct. The first is more formal. In written English, we prefer this form. जहाँ in writing देना है formal, कहीं पे writing आपको write-ups देने हैं तो वहाँ पे. The second one is informal. In spoken English, we often use this form colloquially. जब बात करते हैं तो इसको use करते हैं. Then interrogative adjectives. What color, which child, whose turn. What can be used for persons as well as things. Example, what is in your pocket? My handkerchief. क्या है? It's a thing. What is he? He is a teacher, a person. Now, look at these two questions and their answers. Who is he? He is a friend. What is he? He is a businessman. When we use what with persons, it means that we want to know their trade or profession. जब भी हम बात करेंगे when we use what with a person, किसी person के साथ what लगाते हैं तो इसका मतलब ये होता है कि हम जानना चाहते हैं कि उसका ट्रेड या प्रोफेशन क्या है, वो काम क्या करते हैं. Which applies both to persons and things. Now, which जो है persons और things दोनों के साथ यूज होगा. We use which when we have to select some persons or things from a given group. Who is the captain? It's a general inquiry. Who is the captain? Which of these books have you written? Pointing to a group. What are you writing these days? General inquiry. Which of these books have you written? Pointing to a group. Then interrogative adverbs. इसमें when, where, why, how long, how far, how often, how soon are used. Then interrogative pronouns क्या है? Who, whose, whom. ये क्या है? Only person. Who used as a subject. What, which. Persons भी हो सकते हैं, things भी हो सकते हैं. Persons as well as things. Whom, this has been used as an object. Then we come to imperative commands. Imperative sentences, that is commands. An imperative sentence expresses a command or order, an instruction, a request, or an advice. For example, keep off the grass. क्या है ये? It's a command. एक हुक्म है, एक आदेश है. Put this notice on the notice board. ये क्या है? This is an instruction. Pass me the sugar, please. It's a request. Do your homework regularly. This is a piece of advice. Whether an imperative sentence is an order, a request, etc. depends often upon the speaker's tone. जो स्पीकर्स के टोन होते हैं उस पर डिपेंड करता है कि ये ऑर्डर है, रिक्वेस्ट है, नहीं मॉड्यूलेशन ऑफ वॉइस भी माने रखता है. Command does not necessarily suggest an order. It includes all four ideas. जी. Command does not necessarily suggest an order. It includes all the four ideas, that is order, instruction, request or advice. Now, exclamatory sentence, that is exclamation. An exclamatory sentence expresses some strong feeling. That is, exclamatory sentences usually begin with how or what. For example, how beautiful the butterfly is. What a nuisance is. In order to make an exclamatory sentence forceful, we use a slightly different word order. In sentence 1, the normal word order should have been the butterfly is beautiful. The butterfly is how beautiful. इसका सेंस जो है. And in sentence 2, the normal word order should have been it is what a nuisance. What a nuisance it is. इसका सेंस ये है कि it is what a nuisance. We put a mark of exclamation, this type of symbols you put at the end of the sentences. We put a mark of exclamation at the end of an exclamatory sentence. So this is all about sentences. अगर हमारे वीडियो आपको अच्छा लग रहे हों तो ऊपर घंटी का आइकॉन है, बेल का, उसे आप दबाएं और सब्सक्राइब करें. चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें. जब भी नई वीडियो इस पर अपलोड होगी आपको पता लगेगा. इसके बाद ऑडियो लेसन्स की प्रैक्टिस होगी, उसे आप केयरफुली सुने, अच्छे से सुने. उस वीडियो के बाद वाले पार्ट में आपको प्रैक्टिस भी कराई जाएगी जिसमें स्पीकर कुछ बोलेंगे, आपको वो रिपीट करना है. दिस इज गोइंग टू हेल्प यू. हर एक लेसन पे मैं कोशिश करूंगा कुछ न कुछ आपको ऑडियो प्रैक्टिस के लिए अपलोड करूं, जिसको कि आप प्रैक्टिस करें सो दैट यू कैन बी fluent in your language, spoken English. Okay.
Lesson 1. English sentences. Listen to the example. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
How are you?
Fine.
Fine.
Fine, thank you.
Fine, thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, thanks.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Excuse me.
Excuse me.
What time is it?
What time is it?
It is 2 o'clock.
It is 2 o'clock.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is John.
My name is John.
What is your name?
What is your name?
Do you live here?
Do you live here?
Yes, I live here.
Yes, I live here.
Do you speak English?
Do you speak English?
I speak a little English.
I speak a little English.
Have you lived here long?
Have you lived here long?
I have lived here 2 years.
I have lived here 2 years.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Repeat each sentence. Hello. How are you? Fine. Fine, thank you. Okay, thanks. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. Excuse me. What time is it? It is 2 o'clock. Thank you. My name is John. What is your name? Do you live here? Yes, I live here. Do you speak English? I speak a little English. Have you lived here long? I have lived here 2 years. Thank you. Goodbye.
And now, American accent. Please listen
Lesson 1.
carefully.
Sentences. Listen to the example. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
How are you?
Fine.
Fine.
Fine, thank you.
Fine, thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, thanks.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Excuse me.
Excuse me.
What time is it?
What time is it?
It is 2 o'clock.
It is 2 o'clock.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is John.
My name is John.
What is your name?
What is your name?
Do you live here?
Do you live here?
Yes, I live here.
Yes, I live here.
Do you speak English?
Do you speak English?
I speak a little English.
I speak a little English.
Have you lived here long?
Have you lived here long?
I have lived here 2 years.
I have lived here 2 years.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Repeat each sentence. Hello. How are you? Fine. Fine, thank you. Okay, thanks. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. Excuse me. What time is it? It is 2 o'clock. Thank you. My name is John. What is your name? Do you live here? Yes, I live here. Do you speak English? I speak a little English. Have you lived here long? I have lived here 2 years. Thank you. Goodbye.